The Online Entrepreneur Motivation Series, discussing ideas, strategies, and mindsets to help online entrepreneurs become more successful. And the foundation of any successful entrepreneur, any successful business is rooted in persistence. And so right now we're going to talk about cultivating persistence and how you can develop the skill and the habit of persistence so that nothing can stop you, and ultimately you will be able to develop a successful business. Now, persistence itself is really the only difference between success and failure. I mean, think about it. You can go back through the pages of history and look at all the entrepreneur ventures that have succeeded and failed over time. The people that were successful were not always successful. Every single story that you read is of somebody who went through all kinds of trials and tribulations, had one failure after another, and ultimately it was their persistence that led them to success. They simply refused to take no as an answer. There is the odd case where somebody hit on their very first business venture and did really, really well right out of the gate. But 99 times out of 100, the successful business is somebody who has persisted through a lot of trial and tribulation, and that's likely going to be the case for you as well. Even if you happen to get lucky and stumble upon a business that gets out of the gate really, really quick, at some point in the evolution of yourself as an entrepreneur and your business as an organization, you will meet with challenge, and it's your persistence that's going to carry you through. But are you developing your persistence? Are you aware of how important this skill is to your overall growth and success? Now, persistence is not a short-term pain that you have to fight through to get to the other side and have an easy life. Persistence is a foundation that you have to build in to the very fiber of your being so that you live and act from a place of total commitment to your goals. See, I think this is a mistake that a lot of new entrepreneurs get trapped into, and that's the idea that if I can just get through this, this first year or 2 years and grind it out and persist through, then things will get easier, and I won't have to really work as hard, and I won't have to struggle. And that is really clinging on to a false concept of how things really are. No matter what level of success you reach in your business, there will always be a degree of persistence required to keep this thing going. And this is true both in business and in life. So you have to realize and accept and embody the idea that persistence is something that you have to become. And if you realize that it's something that is ongoing for the rest of your life, it becomes easier to start working on it and practicing it today. So as you evolve and as you become a more persistent individual, later on down the road, as business gets easier, right, you discover new challenges or new opportunities for growth, a whole new level of persistence kicks in, and it's easy for you now. It doesn't mean there is less persistence, doesn't mean the work gets any easier. It's all still there, but you're coming from a different mindset. You're prepared to persist through all of the challenges that will inevitably pop up because you understand that they're coming and you're willing to persist. So remember, you will always be tested. No matter how successful you become, tests, challenges, problems will always be there. Your persistence will always carry you through. Now, you might be watching or listening to this right now and you're going through it. You've got problems, you're frustrated, your persistence is being tested, and you don't even know if you want to do this anymore. That's normal, and I want to offer you a couple of ideas that you can keep at the top of your mind to remind yourself when the times get tough, which they often do as entrepreneurs. Remember that you can always try again. I don't care what you've screwed up or who you've annoyed or whatever it may be. Entrepreneurship is more about who can hold on longer than it is about anything else. And you also have to remember that as long as you're alive and kicking and breathing and here, listening to me right now, then you can try again. You can take a new approach. If you've identified a driving force, a reason why you're doing what you're doing, and you know that you want to achieve this thing, whatever it is in your business, then persistence isn't even a conscious effort. It's who you are. And you've committed to this thing with all of your heart and soul, and so you will just continue to do what you do until you get the result that you want. So you have to know in your heart that your result is inevitable, even though all outside indications may be telling you otherwise. And all you have to do is hold on and keep trying new approaches and new ideas and new methods until you get the result. Time is not a factor. You will the time is however long it takes. And your job is to continually take action and try new things and try new strategies and learn and grow until you get what you want. You can do it, but do you have the persistence to get what you want? So let's talk about a couple of exercises that can help you strengthen your persistence. First, I want you to make a note of times where persistence has already paid off for you in the past. And you might have to go way back. If you've forgotten, if you're not a success-based individual, if you're not good at recognizing your own successes, you may have to go way back to when you first learned to walk, or something really, really simple like that, where you had to try a lot of times, but you never gave up because there was no other option. So you just kept trying, and you kept doing it, and eventually, even though it may have taken a long time, you finally did make this thing happen. And it's probably happened many, many times, even this year, maybe this month or this week. Remind yourself, get in touch with that side of you that has been persistent, and remember all the rewards you receive from being persistent. And then you can be fully capable and comfortable of doing it more, of being persistent in all areas of life. Next, go out and find 3 role models throughout history. It doesn't matter who it is. People who have demonstrated persistence that inspired you. I guarantee if you're an online entrepreneur, the stuff that you're persisting through right now is a fraction of what other people have had to go through in their lives. There are people who have had to endure some of the most horrific experiences, the most difficult lives, and they made it through. Read about these people. Learn about their internal fortitude and what they had to do to get through to their end goal, and then put it back into perspective of what you're looking at right now, and I guarantee you'll have a new sense of energy. You'll realize that it really isn't all that bad, and you're going to give it another go. This is especially important when you feel like giving up. So have those role models handy. If you need more than 3, get more than 3. But just make sure you do this exercise to remind yourself that persistence is possible and it's absolutely fundamental if you want to succeed in business.